Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special Avalon Waterways webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run about 30 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Jennifer Halbus. Jennifer has been bringing creativity, passion, marketing prowess, and a love of travel to group voyagers for more than 18 years. As Senior Director, National Accounts for the company that markets and sells the Globus family of brands, which is Globus, Cosmos, Monograms, and Avalon Waterways, within the United States, she is responsible for elevating brand recognition, strategizing marketing tools development, and driving sales through the dominant travel advisor distribution channel. A self-proclaimed marketer and sales gal at heart, Jennifer thrives on the daily interactions she has with industry colleagues, from passionately outlining future initiatives for Globus with a travel writer to discussing the changing dynamics of the industry at large with key partners. She demonstrates the excitement she has for the Globus family of brands and the role travel plays in the world today. Selling travel is truly a dream job. And with that, take it away, Jen.
Thanks, Anna, and thank you to all the advisors that have joined me today. It's an exciting time, right? We're I think we're all seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're feeling like the world is getting back out there. And this is what we've been waiting for. So I am very excited. I am very passionate about this brand, and I'm very passionate about river cruising, and that's what we're going to focus in today on, because I do think that river cruising, there's tons of opportunities for advisors as we move more fully into recovery and into doing more than recover to thriving and really growing and changing your business. And I really truly believe that river cruising can be a style that fuels your success in ways that maybe you never thought before. So we'll spend some time talking about that. As we go through the PowerPoint today, you're going to you may be aware of Avalon before, kind of our look and feel. We have a brand new campaign, really a new visual campaign. A lot of the messaging I'll talk about will maybe similar because we feel the brand is in such a good place. But this new tagline we have, cruising elevated, see how the tides are changing. I'm just going to read a little paragraph to kind of give you a sense for kind of where we're going with this new campaign. And then throughout the webinar, we'll talk about where the opportunity is with you, because I think there's so much opportunity for you to sell more river cruising and, of course, more Avalon as we move forward. Avalon Waterways has redefined cruising by going against the current and away from the ordinary, delivering unparalleled experiences and boundless exploration. Avalon puts guests in the captain's seat to navigate their journey and fuel their passions as they cruise the world's waterways. One step upon our modern, luxurious suite ships with the grandest views in cruising, and it's easy to see how the tides are changing. Welcome to a new wave in cruising. Welcome aboard Avalon Waterways. So I think what I like about this campaign is we're really putting river cruising in the cruise space, right? I think even as part of CLIA, you can see we've got the ocean cruise, we've got river, but at the end of the day, you're selling cruising to cruisers, to people who like to cruise. So I think kind of integrating river cruising more into the overall cruise space will help you find new targets, help you sell more river cruises, and basically just help you cater to your clients even more. Sweet, safe, and sound cruising. So obviously this is what, as people get back out, and I do think that this is probably one of the opportunities, is that a lot of maybe typical ocean cruisers may be looking for a smaller environment where maybe the experience can be a little bit more controlled, right? Or maybe some just have wanted to try river cruising, and now seems like the perfect time to do it. But we've had an amazing health and safety record during this time. I mean, we operated 150 departures in 2021, and we did not have one case of COVID. So I think that you'll find, and I just went on 2 river cruises myself back to back, and our protocols are really working. When things do change or local guidelines change, kind of being on a small cruise where you have the cruise director really running things and managing expectations and taking care of your clients, I think what you can just trust in is that there's going to be peace of mind sending your clients on a river cruise with Avalon. Ship shape sweet ships. Say that 5 times fast. I have to say, even though we have stepped up our game in this kind of COVID and post-COVID, hopefully soon to be environment, We really have maintained impeccably clean, beautiful ships throughout. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have been on a ship with an advisor and they've said, oh my gosh, is this one of your newest ships? And I'll be like, no, this ship is 4 or 5 years old. We just do an impeccable job maintaining them in the off season as well as maintaining them throughout. We had a client quote that said, she said, I think there's one person's job on the ship that all they do is wipe down the stairs and railings. I mean, the ship just really glimmers at every, I mean, and you'll see it. I mean, when you see all the guests get off, sometimes if you're someone who stays back and doesn't go on an excursion, you will see everyone just go into, into kind of spruce mode, if you will. We, disinfect the common areas, we wipe down the surfaces, we make sure that the ship is beautiful as almost the first minute they stepped on, even when they come back from an excursion. And then when we think about where river cruising sits within the, cruise space, right? Size and seismic, it matters. Smaller ships, bigger experiences, fewer people, more of everything. I mean, I think that river cruising really delivers that, and Avalon in particular. We're one of the few lines that sail with some of the smaller ships, 110 meters, only 128 people. Our 135 meters have 166 guests. So, an average of 150 guests. There's a big difference, obviously, from an ocean cruise line or even even one of the smaller ocean cruise lines. And again, all that does is just deliver proximity to people and places, right? That's why people river cruise. They really cruise for the destination. And there's different reasons that different people cruise, but that's what river cruising can really deliver. And, unless you have clients that really only cruise for the ship or the entertainment, obviously, you're not coming on and seeing Broadway shows on a river cruise. But if people really cruise for the destination, even if they've always been a typical large ship, cruiser, I think you can, offer them a river cruise and they're going to be very pleasantly surprised. It doesn't get any sweeter. I love this shot, right? This really gives you, I mean, this shot, this view, this is why you river cruise. And this is why you river cruise with Avalon. Because with our beds facing that view, giving you that little seating area, I mean, it really does make a difference. I mean, I always say that at every point on a river cruise with Avalon, there will come a time when there's some daytime sailing and you're going to want to go back to your stateroom. You're going to want to open that window, lay in that bed, and just pinch yourself and think, am I really traveling this way? And again, river cruising is an upmarket product anyway, right? So you put anyone on a river cruise and they're going to love it. But there is really the touches, the well-appointed touches that we do within the Avalon stateroom that really adds to your client's experience. And, in our open air balcony, so you've got that seating area that your whole wall is a window. It's 14 feet wide. It opens up 11 feet wide. And it, we've made the decision, everything in river cruising is a trade-off, right? I mean, the ships can only be so long, they can only be so wide because of the locks. So we made the decision to have the largest standard stateroom in river cruising, 200 square feet for a majority of our guests. So 80% of our staterooms on Avalon are this Panorama Suite. And because we wanted the average stateroom to be larger than the standard, and you won't see anything smaller than 172 square feet on an Avalon ship. And this is why, because you want to have that 200 square feet usable all the time. I mean, let's face it, ocean cruising, you have days at sea, it's sunny. Yes, you want a balcony to go out on, be able to lay out in the sun, have some extra space. It's just not the same. It's not the same value proposition in Europe. Sometimes there's inclement weather, especially if you're traveling in March or April or, maybe in October or November. Sometimes you're docked next to another ship. Sometimes you're docked right next to a street where people are walking by. So, sitting out on your balcony doesn't afford you the same experience as having all the use of your stateroom 100% of the time. So, and, with the bed facing the view, we angled the wall. We put a little extra room into the bathroom, so you have an extra large shower. You have a well-appointed, marble bathroom with countertops and space and storage. And there's tons of storage in the stateroom. There's a very usable desk. You have clients that are maybe traveling and do need to still work. You can be really comfortable in your stateroom because you have that extra space. And it's not just us that says these staterooms are fabulous. We were awarded by Cruise Critic 4 consecutive years for best river cruise line cabins because of the unique configuration and because of the comfort that our clients raved about on Cruise Critic. They also named us the best European river cruise line one year. More recently, we were awarded the best shore excursions because of the variety that we offer. So we might get into that a little bit. And here's the deal for you as an advisor selling Home Sweet Home, our all suite fleet. You will not find a more consistent fleet. We only have 2 different lengths, 110, 135, but the configuration of the ship is exactly the same on all of them. They all have 80% of that 200, square foot panorama suite. Every ship has 2 royal suites at 300, maybe a configuration of either 12 to 17 Avalon Deluxe staterooms that are below the water level. They all have the club lounge. They all have the panorama lounge. I mean, really, the design is a little different, like the color, the fabrics, the artwork, but the stateroom configuration and the ships themselves could not be more consistent. You do not have to hurt your head. Plus, it makes it great for groups. If you have a group of 10, 20, 30, you can get everyone the same stateroom configuration, which is awesome. So we are very proud of the consistency of our fleet. We have 2 new ships. I mean, the Envision joined us in 19, so she's still very, very new. Our godmother for her was Elizabeth Gilbert. And then we just christened the Avalon View back in April with Meredith Vieira. So the Avalon View, joins our suite fleet. And again, back to the point, it's see more than the sea. Again, ocean cruising is wonderful, but your clients may not want to ocean cruise every time. We get in on a river cruise to places you can't see from the sea, right? And it really is about that proximity to land, that proximity to the people and places that you're sailing. And I have to tell you, I just took 18 of my friends on a birthday cruise. We did Active and Discovery on the Seine. Not one of them had ever been on a river cruise. Some of them had traveled to Paris before. Some of them had been on an ocean cruise before. Some of them had just traveled on their own to places. And across the board, the sentiment was like, wow, why have I not been doing this? And when are we doing it again? And they're all in their early 50s. So one of the big messages that I really like to impress upon advisors right now is do not wait to start selling your client river cruises. Do not think they need to be in their 60s or almost retired. Yes, they have to be at a certain point in their life where they have, a little bit more disposable personal income, to buy, higher cost trips. But the inclusive nature means that the value is amazing on a river cruise. But I'm telling you, every single one of my friends was blown away by the experience, the little towns we get into, of course, the crew, which we'll talk about. But the total experience delivered so much, and they just cannot wait to do it again. And it's about, obviously we include so much on a river cruise, but we want to give choices. I mean, really the flexibility, and I think Avalon, really the flexibility and kind of creativity that your guests can bring to their river cruise is a hallmark of Avalon Waterways. We pioneered Avalon Choice, which, if you look back, 8 or 9 years, all of us river cruise lines were going into a port offering one sightseeing and off you go. Well, we really started introducing a different way to look at sightseeing. We started to understand that people were going to be on their 2nd, 3rd, 4th river cruise, and they come to Cologne. They don't want to do the walking tour of Cologne again. They've already done it. So we started looking at our excursions and labeling them as active, discovery, or classic. And it is what it is. Classic is a traditional walking tour with a historical slant. Discovery is a way to take the history of a place but really make it immersive. You're going to do a painting class or a cooking class, or maybe you'll go into a chocolate factory and make your own chocolate bar. And then, of course, active is what it sounds like: a bike, a hike, a jogging tour, all these different things. They're some of my favorite excursions that I've done, because you get your blood pumping, but you also get your mind working, right? You're learning and you're, you're getting out there. We pioneered the Avalon Go App actually pre-COVID. We introduced it, and this was a couple of reasons. One, it's a way to have the documents and all the details that your clients need to enjoy their Avalon cruise at their fingertips. And the great thing is that you don't need Wi-Fi, and it has so much functionality in this Go App. It's going to have, the itinerary. It's going to have the e-docs. There's travel guides, maps, recommendations. There's even a little travel journal and an expense calculator. So lots of great things, that you can do with the app. And the great thing is it's like at their fingertips when they're out. People, the reason, it's also from a sustainability standpoint. We're not printing paper docs anymore, because one, if the information, the minute you print it, it almost becomes out of date. And we've learned that more than ever in COVID, right? Like, things are so fluid, so flexible. The way to ensure that your clients have the most relevant, current, and up-to-date information is to make sure that, they're using the app and we stream things through there. So, and the other thing we've been able to do is we've added digital signage throughout our entire fleet. So nice, beautiful, there's kiosks in the lobby in which they check in and out of. There's large screens in the lounges, and all the information is on there, you know, menus for the day, the daily newsletter. And that's allowed us to cut the paper on the ship by more than 80%. Again, you've been on cruises, you've seen all that paper that kind of, builds up in the stateroom, and it's like, oh my gosh, how many trees are we killing? So we've really made a conscious effort, along with removing all single-use plastics and adding in refillable water stations. So we have no single-use plastics anymore on Avalon. Sustainability is a real push for us, and we're continuing it. The adventure is up to you. So we talk about flexibility, and we talk about your clients being able to take this river cruise and personalize it for themselves. We obviously include so much, right? We include so many choices of excursions. In almost every port, you get, at least 2 choices, and we'll talk about active and discovery cruises here in a minute where you get more. But we know at times your clients just want to use the vessel to get to the next place and go off on their own. So we've added an adventure host to every ship. This is someone in addition to the cruise director who is there to help your clients customize, personalize their experience with Avalon. Do they want to take a bike off board? Do they need a route they could get done in 2 hours? Do they want some walking sticks? Do they want some binoculars? Can we pack them up a picnic lunch so they can be out for a couple hours since they're not going to be coming back to the ship? So all these things, the adventure host is there to help guide your clients and let them tap into their own personal passions. And we know it's one of the great things about working with the Globus family brands is that we do land and river, right? It's that simple. We do land and we do river. So we make it really easy to combine those two, which I'm sure you're seeing this with your clients right now. There's pent-up demand. There's pent-up vacation savings. They're not really going over to Europe for 1 week now, right? They're coming to you and saying, I want to do maybe an ocean cruise and then some land, or I want to do a river cruise and then some land. We make it easier than ever to do that. So here's just a great example of how with the Cruising Your Way, you could take a 7-night romantic Rhine cruise, which is obviously one of our most popular. And look, you can add on Amsterdam, you can add on Paris and London, you could add on Lake Como and Lucerne. I mean, all these possibilities. And what's great with Avalon, we will pay you the same commission that you earn on your cruise on those land add-ons. So that is not always the case with the other operators. So it's also more lucrative for you. They have their unique cruise codes, the transfers are included, we pay you one amazing commission. What could be easier? And I'll tell you, if you're doing a 7-night river cruise with a adding on 6 nights somewhere else, or maybe you want to add on a 7-night tour, maybe add on a Globus Switzerland tour with this, you're going to be making a really healthy commission check. Let's dish. I love this. Farm to fork flavor and grape to glass glory. So, obviously you're sailing through all these little towns, and we bring a lot of local ingredients on. Not only do we have a menu that caters to the destination, but we always have standing offers. Sometimes people don't like, or they get tired of the new cuisine that they're trying. They just want something kind of simple, like grilled chicken and a Caesar salad. But we really do curate local flavors, and we bring on local ingredients throughout the cruise. I mean, there's times we get into a port and the chef will get off and go into the local market early in the morning and bring ingredients back for the dish that night, bring on fresh bread from the local destination. So this is one of the great things about river cruising, is that your clients really kind of have a unique culinary experience that kind of changes as the towns and the rivers change. So I think it's one of my favorite things. I mean, the variety of the menu throughout the week on a river cruise is really amazing. And then flexibility. I mean, obviously a river cruise is never going to be as flexible with dining as an ocean cruise. We just simply don't have enough space, but we do have some nice flexibility. We call it our Avalon Flex Dining. We of course have the Panorama dining room, and you can go down there and anytime you can start your meal anytime between 7 and 8:30. So you don't have to go, if you're having a great time at happy hour and you're enjoying those 2-for-1 drinks that we offer, then stay up with your new friends, have some laughs. Maybe we're sailing, enjoy the beautiful light that's coming in through the windows, and don't go down to eat until 8. Maybe, maybe you want to do the Panorama Bistro. Maybe you don't want to go down and do the more formal dining that day. You just want to grab a little nosh, have it be more quick, because maybe we're going to be overnighting in port that night and you want to get something in you and get out and enjoy. a couple nights during every 7-night cruise, and, of course longer, we will offer the Panorama Bistro. Another thing we offer is the Sky Grill. This is by far one of the most popular. I was able to do it. I just did 2 back-to-back river cruises, and I was able to do the Sky Grill on each one, and it is a fan favorite. We set up upstairs. We, have that beautiful Sky Grill. We have tables up there and grills, and we set up all different kinds of grilled meats, salad. We even, sometimes bring ice cream up there. Of course, the included wine and beer is offered. And you're sitting out and it's sunny, maybe you're sailing, which, I'm telling you, when you get to do the Sky Grill while you're sailing, like that is, it is just such a unique experience, and people just absolutely adore it. And then sometimes room service. If you just need a little something brought to you, maybe you're just having a quiet night, you're quiet morning, you don't feel like going out, then we can make that happen for you as well. We partnered with the Rank Brothers years ago. They run an amazing, one of the top vegetarian restaurants in Austria, and they have curated an exclusive for Avalon menu. And you can see in the menus when you're on board, there'll be that little Avalon A like that, and that will denote a fresh. So it'll be healthy, it will be vegetarian, it will be flavorful though. I mean, it's a really heart healthy, but you don't sacrifice the flavor. So these were some of my favorite dishes. I'm like a really big meat eater, and normally eat probably things that are more flavorful and heavy. But I have to say, some of my favorite dishes from my past cruise were on the Avalon Fresh menu. But this is where it really comes together for me. I mean, obviously Avalon's unique kind of hardware adds to the comfort for your guests. The food's amazing. The shore excursions are awesome. But what really makes a cruise with Avalon is the crew. We call it the art of making you feel at home. And it really, it's just something I can tell you on a webinar, but you have got to go experience it for yourself, because you will see that the crew is so sweet, authentic, friendly, genuine. Like I said, I was on back-to-back cruises, and I was actually, the first cruise I was hosting travel advisors, many who have not been on Avalon. Then I was hosting my friends who had not been on Avalon, had been on a river cruise. And to hear that both groups of people were echoing the same sentiments when it came to the crew, just how the service was just so enjoyable. I kind of call it, our crew will meet your clients where they are. Some of your guests are going to be more extroverted, engaging, and want to chat, and some are going to be a little more like stand off. Our crew is really trained to give your guests, your clients, the level of service that they need. So we're really proud of this, and honestly, every time I leave a cruise, I am just missing the crew so much. I've become even new Facebook friends with a lot of them from my past couple of cruises. I mean, they really just are just a wonderful group, and you would enjoy them. So I definitely encourage you to get on Avalon Waterways. Now we'll look at the active and discovery. Okay, I talked about the choice. So on every river cruise, we are going to give your clients a choice of excursions, but we went and actually, developed totally unique cruises that went one step further, that really kind of delivered something that the overall river cruise category wasn't doing. And what it is really just gives your clients more chance to kind of go even deeper into a destination. It gives them that more choice of options, and it gives them more unique and a more of a mix of active and discovery. And now it's nice. We've added 2 new cruises on the active and discovery for 2023 on the lower Danube. So that brings our active and discovery portfolio to 8. That means we're really on all the major rivers. And I'm telling you, these are so good for multi-gen, because we offer classic active and discovery excursions. That means you could put people on in their 20s, 40s, 60s, and 70s, and everybody gets to choose what they want to do. And simply, there are more choices. And they're special because we go to more unique ports. Maybe on our Rhine, we go to Dusseldorf. More time in each port. Since some of these active and discovery excursions take a little bit more time, we stay in port longer. There's less distance between ports. There's more day sailing, and obviously more active and discovery. So this is how the mix is. 40% of the excursions that they get to choose from will be active, 40% discovery, 20% classic. But that does mean someone could choose all classic if they needed to. But I think you find that most people will do a mix. Some people will do more classic with a little discovery. Some will do a mix between active and discovery. Some will go all active. But that's the beauty. Everyone gets to do what they want. And when I was on the Seine, my girlfriend was so excited because she got to go to a castle and make chantilly cream. And I was like, that's not my jam. So I went to the town where Vincent van Gogh spent his last 70 days and where he died. And the interesting thing is, as we were both finishing up our excursions, we were texting each other and sharing how moved we were by our excursion choices, and they were completely different. So we really are catering to different people within a single cruise. So we'll just quickly, this is good, just kind of show this is our active and discovery on the Rhone and give you a sense for the uniqueness of these choices, because you're not going to see these excursions on other river cruise lines. You can go take a guided bike ride through the natural park, attend a painting workshop to learn how to paint like Van Gogh, kayaking. But this picture is one of my favorites. I have not done it, but multiple people I work with have. You go do an underground wine tasting. You can see, you put the full spelunking gear on, you hike down, down, down. And then at one point in the tasting, they turn the lights off and you are doing a wine tasting in the dark. I mean, it really is one of the fan favorite excursions we offer. This is our new Active and Discovery on the Lower Danube. I was fortunate to go on the Lower Danube and test out some of these, and I have to say, rave reviews. This wine tasting at a local well-known winery in Baden was, oh my gosh, everyone who came back from it said the people were, you felt like you were coming to a family home. I mean, they welcomed our group in, they had candlelight. It was just such a special kind of romantic experience. Absolutely a tour. Visit the well-preserved medieval fortress at Goljebak. Oh my gosh, we pull up right next to, I have a picture of the Avalon ship down the side with this beautiful lit up castle at night. You go in and they're like, you can actually hold real swords. I mean, it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know how much I enjoyed holding a sword. It was amazing. Or maybe take a foodie walking tour of Belgrade and try so many different things. People come back from the foodie walking tours and they're stuffed. I mean, there's so much to sample. I didn't talk about our short and sweet. I'm kind of showing you our new campaign, but we are one of the few operators to really offer a suite of short and sweet cruises. It started with our Taste of Danube for years ago, and we thought, gosh, some people just want a little taste of river cruising, or maybe some people, you as an advisor can take a short river cruise like this Best of the Rhine and build some custom FIT around it, right? That is a way for you to build unique product that your clients can go shop anywhere else. You're adding your value, but also by having the river cruise in the middle, paying you a great commission, doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So a nice 4-night on the Rhine, and we're changing it for 23 to end up, to be between Basel and Frankfurt. So we found that this is the stretch of the Rhine, that if they're really just going to do a little taste of it, that this is the best way to look at it. And of course, you still have all the great excursions that you would come to think of when you do a longer Rhine cruise. You go and have the Rudesheimer coffee, you sail through the Rhine Gorge, you get to go to Strasbourg, which is so, so precious, right? Learn about German winemaking. If you want to do the full day excursion to the Black Forest, you still can. So I definitely encourage you to look at our, we have 5 short and sweet cruises to offer, a couple of Christmas time markets. We have the Danube, we have the Rhine, really, really great choices, especially if your clients want to just give a little taste of river cruising. And that's it. I know that was a lot of information. I hope throughout that you felt like the language and the visuals really kind of elevate the Avalon brand. We believe, we're very clear, this is a luxurious product, but we call it relaxed luxury, right? I mean, all the river cruise lines do a good job, and we really wanted to elevate the brand and make sure that you knew that you could sell these, our river cruises, to people who are kind of a higher affinity cohort. So thank you. That is what I had in store for you today. I hope you'd enjoyed my little journey with Avalon Waterways. And now I think we may take some questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we do have some questions coming in. We have a lot of people really just amazed at Avalon and all of the inclusions, and just want to clarify, they have a couple questions about what really is included. So excursions, Wi-Fi, drink packages. We have questions about if that is included in the cruise fare.
Absolutely. Great question. So yes, you will get a choice of excursions in every port. I mean, there may be on some of our classic inclusions, there may be 1 or 2 cities where we only include one, but for the most part, you're going to get a choice of inclusions in every port included. You're going to get wine and beer with lunch and dinner included. There's a bottle of sparkling wine out every morning. So if you want to have mimosas every day, that's going to be included. Wi-Fi is included. Gratuities are not included, but you could also add those on ahead of time for your clients, or book a group. A group with us is just 4 staterooms, and we will include the gratuities for your clients as well. So really your clients are only going to pay extra for a couple of optionals. And we're very clear when you look through the cruise details and itineraries, when we call out classic, active, and discovery within kind of the body of the day by day, we're very clear about what's included and what would be an optional. And a majority of them are included. You wouldn't have to, the optionals are usually things like maybe an evening excursion off or maybe full day excursions away. But even things like when you go on the Seine and it's the Normandy landing beaches, that's a full day excursion, but that is not an optional because that is an experience you should have. So we really only add optionals in to kind of further enhance. We have 16 bikes on board. Those are free to take off anytime. Using the adventure hose, having us pack up a picnic lunch for you to take off. Any of the alternative dining, that's all included.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Leslie, who is wondering if you could list a few of the ports that Avalon departs from.
Oh gosh, yes, we depart a lot out of, we have a lot that departs out of Budapest, gets into Vienna, a lot out of Amsterdam, going down to Basel. We do round trip Paris or, Paris out to Le Havre and cruise back in. And then obviously go south, go through Lyon. So yeah, I mean, a lot of, and then of course we go further. I mean, we probably have, of all the river cruise lines, the most product that goes lower Danube, that gets into Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, Bucharest. Bucharest is another big town that we get into. That one's not a port, you more transfer from obviously getting off the river, but we're going to kind of go into all the major ports. On the Moselle, we embark, in Luxembourg and cruise up through, and go to Trier and Kokum and some of the really, really picturesque towns in Germany.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Myron, who is wondering how far out we are able to book cruises currently.
You can book that. We are fully, all 2023 product is out there right now. If you're even looking at doing a 2024 group, if you have people thinking about 2024 groups, we can book that right now as well. So pretty far out and close in. I mean, that's what we're seeing in terms of booking trends right now. We're seeing both, as people are kind of getting to the point where they really want to get something booked. We're seeing really close in bookings, but you can also plan out way ahead.
Perfect. And our next question is from Iris, who is wondering if the tours are offered in different languages.
They are not. Nope. That, if you wanted to do something in different languages, I mean, you would probably be looking more of a kind of a charter situation, which I encourage more advisors to look into chartering with Avalon. Like I said, we are one of the few operators that have the ships that only have 128 people. So I know many of you advisors could put 128 people on an ocean cruise, like in a blink, right? So definitely consider chartering with us. It's a great way to completely control the experience on ship, add in extra things for your clients, and market something that they could not get anywhere else.
Okay, got it. And we have a few people really excited about the Avalon View and are wondering if you could just share a little bit more about all of the differences and new things on the Avalon View.
Really, like I said, we have a very consistent fleet. I would just say probably, we get a little better with the design every time, right? So maybe the artwork. But from a kind of a hardware standpoint, it's exactly the same as all our others. And but she is really beautiful. And so it is nice to kind of see the different color schemes and everything and artwork that we use. But that's really the only difference. We really want the suite fleet to remain that consistent for all those reasons. It makes us great for charters and incentives, makes us easy for groups, makes it easy for you guys to sell. So, but she looks pretty spiffy.
Got it. We have just a few more questions. This one is from Corinne, who is wondering if there are any accessible cabins on board.
No. That is a great question. ADA is not really a thing over in Europe. And honestly, when you look at the cobblestone streets and some of the really small towns we go in, if people are really limited from a mobility standpoint, Avalon is not for them. We do have an elevator on every ship. So if someone does need a little help kind of getting up and down the stairs, obviously it does not go up to the sky deck. But, at times when we're docked next to other ships, if we need to get up and over, sometimes we have to go onto the sky deck, walk across another ship and get off. I mean, this is common for all of us lines. So your clients really do need to they could have limited mobility, but they need to have mobility.
Okay, got it. And this is an interesting question from Therese, who has clients that like to bring magnetic hooks to hang things in their cabins and is wondering if that is an option on Avalon.
Wow. Okay. I've never gotten that one before. I
I
mean,
also have never seen that
okay.
question before.
I mean, I guess the panes of the sliding glass doors on the, would be metal. So I guess they could affix something to that and hang things. So that might work. But I might have to come back
Okay,
to that to get a definitive answer, but that could be an option. But I will tell you,
okay,
thank you
got
for
it.
saying that though, is that one of the things that I found that both the advisors and my friends echoed is the amount of storage that is on Avalon. I mean, really, even if two people are in there, I mean, I stayed with my girlfriend. I had 8 dresses. She had 10 dresses. They all hung comfortably. And then there was still room in drawers for our folded things. So I think that's one of the hallmarks of the Avalon Stateroom Panorama Suite as well, is the tons of storage. So they may not need those hooks.
Got it. And it looks like this is our last question from Vic, who is wondering if you can just provide a little bit of clarity on the difference between an active and discovery cruise and a regular cruise with active and discovery options.
Yep, the biggest thing is really the mix. So on a classic cruise, maybe 80% of the choices that they will get will be of the classic nature, and we will pepper in maybe 10% discovery, 10% active. On an active and discovery cruise, 40% of the included excursions are active, 40% are discovery, and only 20% are classic. So it's really about the mix and the choice. Maybe on an average port on a classic, you might get 2 choices, where on an active and discovery, you get into port and you're going to have 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 choices. So it's about more mix of active and discovery and simply more choices of included excursions.
Great, thank you. That makes sense. And it looks like those are all of our questions. So thank you, Jen, so much for all of that wonderful information. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.